That's probably the closest. We haven't been here before. Hi, Nalette. Let's put a few more hours in today. Into what? Need a hand? Help? No, that wouldn't do. It should be me helping you. I was one of the Palais Marmonia's guards, you know, albeit retired now. Oh, you're meant to be old? I just thought you had silver hair. You don't look old to me. And even so, I'm still hale and hearty. Why, if a thief were to run by me, I would catch him for sure. Not while you're huffing and puffing like that. What if I pick another option? Are you alright? Of course I am not. Not long ago, in fact, I helped solve the case. I'm not rusty yet, not by a long shot. What sort of case was that? Actually, I spotted a photographer doing business at the plaza some time back and I went to have a picture taken. I walked about until dinner time, and when I was about to eat, I felt someone touch my wallet. Shame that the kid was too quick though. I couldn't keep up. But just the next day, one of my juniors came up to me and told me that the wallet had been retrieved. And indeed, the photo taken of me had helped to crack a big case. It saddens me to say this, but it didn't really help that much. If I'd been fast enough to catch that fellow then. Don't worry about me though, my bones are still sturdy. I'll get him next time. Okay, you're weird. Moving on. I got apples from oranges. That makes sense. No one's gonna man this booth. Okay, seems like a prime target for theft. Ooh, hello. An underground stronghold.
It's right up ahead, but let's make sure we weren't followed first.
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone suspicious thus far.
Very good. But let's not let our guard down for now.
I shall find rooms for our respected guests.
Thank you, Malus.
Find rooms?
Now, let's
As
continue,
in you
traveler.
lost them? Go to the accommodations Navia arranged. Oh, this isn't the place? Oh, this is the place. Oh. Okay. Okay, this is not the lavish place I was... Oh my god. Expecting it to be... Are we going down? That's not a chest, right? That's just set design. Yeah. Okay, well, down we go. Guys have to climb this? Oh my god, it's like torture exercise. That's gonna suck to climb out of. That's for sure. Oh, I don't have to. There's a fast travel point up ahead. Why do so many people live in the sewers? Are you a part of the Spina del Rostila? Or do you all, like, actually have no home? This is concerning. Above me, where? Hey, kitty. I can't pat you. Just so that lots of pats would be given your way if I could. Okay. This place is interesting, I suppose is the word for it. Was I looking at the building? Land of corroded shadows and tainted currents. That's very wordy. Wait, is that a store? Oh, wow, there's heaps of shit down here. Wow, okay, we've actually reached an establishment. It's very wet here, though. So what's this place? Consigliere. Never mind. Why am I talking to a tent tortoise anyway? A tent tortoise. I don't know what that is. Hey, it's Sonny and Luca! You're right, dear Luca. I do hope that such a regrettable incident won't happen again. Why, if it isn't our good friend. What a coincidence bumping into you. How have you been? About Virgil. Right, are you interested in fishing? In Fontaine, there are all sorts of fish that make fishing truly rewarding. Am I right, my dear Luca? Shame, he seems to have his own more tedious pursuits. Still, I am certain that you understand. Am I right, my dear Lunara? Here's some fresh catch. Please take it. I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's just that I really wanted to share this novel fun of exercising with you. Thanks. What about the other response? How have things been for you? I hope you're right. While there's always something unpleasant to deal with, as you say in Fontaine, that's life. Don't you think so, dear Luca? Life? Huh. You see, Luca's wit is as electrifying as ever. I'm overjoyed to hear him answer your questions so concisely. Concise is exactly the word for it.
You're most certainly right, my dear.
They're an interesting pair.
Am I imagining things? Or is all this standing making me dizzy?
I have no idea who's talking at this point. Thanks. Yeah, I don't want to get into that water. Looks dirty. Portiere. Do you need a lock picked or perhaps switched? You do this business by night? Of course. Don't people usually realize that they've forgotten to bring their keys only upon returning home at night? Oh wait, I get it. You're wondering if I'm doing something terrible here, are you? Don't worry, don't worry. I have principles and sense. And more importantly, I don't want to perform a trial-standing show at the opera house. Smart. He's got his wits about him.
Or is all this standing making me dizzy?
You okay, Crosser? This kid's following me. Was that an earthquake, or am I just getting seasick? What do you sell here? Take your pick. She sells cheap-ass goblets. Why? I don't know. I don't feel anything. Must be my old sickness acting up. I used to be a sailor, but I was injured in an accident, and ever since, I felt like my surroundings are shaking. Yep, that's called an ear infection, or something wrong with your inner ear. You should really get that fixed. I can't go back to being a sailor, so I can only help old friends sell things they salvage underwater to make a living. Yeah, you ought to get that checked. Okay, the kid's gone. There's the kid. Alright, though. A little sun's good for your health. Yeah, a little, but not too much. And you are... I'm a doctor. The legitimate kind. As opposed to the illegitimate kind. I've got the relevant certification and a graduation cert from the academia to boot. Why are you practicing magic? Medicine here. I used to be very poor, and I had no money to support my studies or travel overseas. It was a Spina Rossula that sponsored me. Of course, they did so on the condition that I consider returning here to work as a doctor after finishing my studies. I'd be salaried as a standard, of course, with the Spina being my employer. I thought it was a good deal, and I understood what they wanted out of it, so I only asked for the most basic fees when I practice here. You're needed here. No, sunshine is needed here. But the people in Fleuve Cendre have already gotten used to such a lifestyle. We don't go up there unless it's absolutely necessary. That's really bad. Vitamin D is necessary to survive. For us. I'm sure you could adapt over time to not need it, but like dwarves in fantasy settings. But we as humans currently need it. Enough about that. Same goes for you. Stay in the sunlight more often and eat more vegetables and fruits. It's good for your health. I hate vegetables. Fruit though, could eat that all day. Braccari, general goods store manager. Perhaps I should grill a few more cookies for the children. Or perhaps that bull fruit cake from the last time. That was pretty good. How about you lay off the sugar? It certainly sounds tasty. Hee hee. As long as the children like it, all is well. The adults here are very busy with work, so children often come and buy things for their families, and I bring them snacks when they do. Sometimes that girl Navia drops by too, bringing gifts of all sizes. She asks for cake pretty often too, just like a kid she is. Tell me about Navia. I'm an old acquaintance of her father. Got a hand in her marksmanship too, if I do say so myself. Of course, she didn't learn it here. The place was too small. Any drawing of weapons isn't going to end well for anyone. Oh, it will sound so loud as it echoes down here. If someone does dare cause trouble here, they'll be sent away to start a new life in the ocean. Yep, I suppose Sonny's going to help them with that one-way trip. What are you two looking at? I have no idea.
It's way more fun than I thought.
That's great. I don't want to talk to you. You're a kid. Fustier! Is it so hard to believe? Who are you? God's abrupt. What? It's me, Fustier! Eh? Oh, sorry. I must have gotten the wrong person. Too many people ask me that, so I thought you must be an old acquaintance. Old friends don't recognize you? Well, I had a short stint in the fortress of Meripede. Petty theft and such. And when I came out, no one could recognize me any longer. They said I'd changed too much. Well, I certainly was a leaner sight in the past. It took quite some effort just to move chairs even. But unrecognizable? Really? I just bogged up a little, that's all. Good for you. You made something good of your time in the slammer. It's understandable. Really? Did I change so much? Well, I've gotten the pancreation ring to thank for that art then. When I first watched a boxing match, I couldn't help but wonder if I would ever have stolen, had I simply been strong enough. After serving my sentence, I was invited to join the Spina, and I began to do some legitimate manual labour. I guess I'm finally on the right path, no? I think you are.
I'm finally on the right.
Hughes? I wonder if Lucelle's doing all right. Lucelle? An old companion of mine. It could have lived free after I modified it. Oh, okay. But then they took it from me. There was no time to take anything back because they then gave me a new workplace, the Fortress of Meripede. By the way, before Lucelle belonged to me, it was a Gardamak with the guards. It didn't resist when I've modified it, so I took that as consent. That's not consent, honey. That's not consent. And that's how you landed a new job in jail. Yes. Even so, this job has some perks over my previous work at the Fontaine Research Institute. My time at Meripede was more conducive to creativity, to be honest, given the lack of complicated processes and boring summary meanings. Yeah, but you don't have the tools or the materials to do anything with that creativity. Even my daily meals were delivered by clockwork machines. Such an enviable situation. A shame, though, that the canteen manager refused to sell me that machine. Alright, such an innovative spirit should be praised. I doubt this is a compliment. No matter what, such an innovative spirit deserves praise. I have some materials of various sorts. Please take some. See if you can come up with some innovative ideas. Oh, hey, thanks, man. Titro, bartender. It's probably Titro, but whatever. Got a problem? I can solve it for you. Can you solve any problem? Theoretically, I do not believe there is any problem that can only be solved by force. When we have the Spina de Rosula Act, I'm certain that we'll be able to resolve your issue with minimum harm. From things as small as living supplies and household affairs, to matters as large as factional disputes and savings, the Spina will do all it can for you. Okay, interesting that I couldn't even talk to the bartender about buying a drink. Hey Mellis, be right there. Go talk to this lady over here. Vitruvia, legal advisor.
If you want to outrun the law, you need to know how it works.
True. Hello there. Is there any legal service I can provide? You're an attorney? Well, I wish I could have become a champion duelist, but that's not happening in this life, I reckon. I can't fight. Like, I really can't. I'm the type who can knock herself on the head with a sheathed sword. That's great, but like, you'd have to hit yourself super hard to knock you out. But if there's a talent I do have, that's searching. As long as the case details are clear, I can quickly find all the relevant legal clauses. Good for you. It's good to have a passion that you can turn into a career. I don't really see that you get much money here. What now? That was awkward.
So, this is your base?
Oh god, echoes.
Quite what Paimon imagined.
Paimon, do you want to speak a little quieter? You're echoing like all hell.
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
Well, so much for my expectations. Thank you.
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately.
Yeah, well, you're employing a doctor full-time. That seems like a waste of resources, to be honest.
After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support of the people, that does sound like it's worth it.
Do you just not get enough business, or are you just not charging people enough?
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago. I'm afraid I'm not quite his equal.
So what did he do profit-wise that you're not doing?
Your father. He was the previous boss of Spina di Rosula, right? How did he...
Die?
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to explain.
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. And as partners, this is something I hope they can understand.
Why would you run from the topic?
My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful in the streets.
I don't think I've heard anybody say that. Then again, I haven't spoken to everybody in the streets.
3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his innocence. But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena. 3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that.
I don't understand either. It's kind of selfish to leave you alone in that circumstance. I mean, she's old enough to go about her own way. She's an adult. But still, it's kind of selfish.
How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself.
It does seem quite odd. Do you have any clues as to why?
The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
Ah, so that's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that case.
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in, but I haven't found a single new clue in my countless reviews of the investigation records. However, I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, they must know something. I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? Even if he really did kill his friend, I must get to the truth. If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me. And now, here I am investigating his death. You really are a handful, aren't you, Papa?
Seeking the truth for the sake of your family. You know, we're quite alike in this regard.
Demoiselle, please, if there is anything I can do, anything at all.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. There are none whom I respect more than the two of you, Demoiselle. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was one murder case for him to be dubbed Callus the Unfaithful. Even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our strained finances at present.
Oh. Weird, but okay.
Wait, if Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little suspicious when he was accused?
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really. Everyone's like that.
I mean, to a very minor extent, I really think it's blown out of proportion here in Fontaine.
People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
Again, not as much as in Fontaine.
But how could... never mind. If Callus was really falsely accused, we have to find the truth. He didn't deserve to have that happen to him.
There is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent in the duel was Ms. Clorand.
Wait, you can't be holding her responsible, right? It's literally her job to do what she did. If Callus wanted to keep going in the fight, she couldn't stop it.
Oh, her? Well, then, isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him?
No, Paimon, the system killed him. This stupid system that even has champion duelists even exist. That's what's killed him, or himself if he kept going when he could have stopped. That kind of feels like it's on him at that point. I don't think she's the one who could be blamed for being an instrument of, I use quotation marks, justice. No wonder the mood was a little strange between the two of you.
Yeah, that's not the sort sort of thing that you can just let go and move on from.
I disagree. It's not the person's responsibility. It's the system, and her father to an extent from the information presented at present.
Miss Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. If her opponent doesn't yield, she will not stop either.
Which is fair. That's the purpose of her job. I don't get why no one's understanding this. That's perfectly fine. If it means killing someone, that's on the opponent.
She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute in the arena...
If anything, she was being respectful to his wishes by continuing.
There was only ever one choice she could have made.
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I just can't deal with this yet.
You can't deal with it. Didn't your father die 3 years ago? And you still haven't dealt with it? Honey, that's called really bad processing of grief. I know everyone's processing of grief is different, and it's a different timeline to everybody else. 3 years is ridiculous. You need to go speak with somebody and sort through your issues, because this is not healthy to you or to those around you.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel. You don't have to force yourself to do that.
How do you know how she feels? You've never had your father die. I don't even think you have a father.
Afterward, Miss Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety.
And that indicates that he intended to die in that duel.
Yes, that is our understanding as well.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me?
No, the person he asked to duel to take care of him. You.
All right. Anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was just complaining towards the end.
No, it's not. All right, I understand how important this is to you. I understand that you have held onto this grief way too long without processing it, and you really need to get on that.
Thanks. You two should go and rest. This was quite a day after all.
Yeah. Paimon's beat.
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will ensure you rest soundly.
How do you ensure that I rest soundly? You're not in charge of my sleeping habits. A peaceful night passes under the Spina de Rosa's protection. I'm so sick of hearing your yawn sounds, honestly.
So well. This place feels almost too safe.
I mean, who yawns like that? No. Just no.
Huh? Navia? Where did the other two go?
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not much for them to do here at the moment.
This isn't your headquarters? No wonder you're wasting money.
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that. When did you get back? Were you waiting here the whole time?
Get back from where? She didn't say she went to the headquarters.
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vache.
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Yeah, I'm with Navia on this one. Assuming that places are still open at night time to do this research, because in the real world they really aren't. They close up shop overnight.
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
You should never speak for everybody, Paimon. You're going to be wrong 9 times out of 10.
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere.
Which is interesting. Because I doubt there is just one person in Fontaine called Vache. It would probably be a common name, so there'd be multiple Vaches. I thought I'd probably be that we have to narrow down which one it was. But now you're saying there's nobody by that name? Though I suppose these countries are like super small and only have one city per country. So yeah, I guess the population isn't that big.
I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle. But that does prove that this Vache person is a key witness in the incident.
I think it's a coincidental evidence at this point, or circumstantial evidence. But I mean, at the end of the day, I do agree.
Does that mean we're too late, though?
No. There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible to threaten, no matter how much they wanted to.
Farina?
And that is the archives kept
Hey!
by Chief Justice Neuvillette. A place where detailed files on all the cases in recent years are kept. If the Oceanid you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should be able to find some related information there.
So we get to speak to Novelette? I like that.
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of case files? Whew. Guess that's the hard-working Chief Justice for you. In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we?
Let's. What?
Aren't you coming along, Navia? Did you get tired?
No, it's nothing. Let's go see the Honorable Chief Justice.
What am I missing? I'm missing something, clearly. Once upon a time... What? Once upon a time in Fluversende. The truth, lost with the rain.
You always have
Well,
to seize
it
the
doesn't really seem to be raining, though. Wait, why are we here?
The Palais is right up ahead. Come on.
Why is his office here? Why is his office here, but his place of work here? That makes absolutely no sense. Why wouldn't he have it in the Opera Place? This is weird. Plesia, Cardinal Assistant. Yeah, whatever. I'm going in. How do we know that it's a store?
Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
Isn't he always occupied with official matters?
This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Neuvillette's files are really secure.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Paimon can tell.
If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Linny's attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
She's breaking out into some Celine Dion, apparently.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Thanks so much.
Wow, did we need to book an appointment? That's nice. Novelette!
Please come in.
Yay! Ooh. Hello. Ooh, typewriter.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Neuvillette. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
So you're not mad at us?
I don't think this dude has much in the way of emotions other than pleasant.
We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
He's so obliging. That could take a while, though. That's 20 years worth of files.
Who knew that Neuvillette would be so easy to talk to.
What do you mean? He was so laid back during the magician show.
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vache has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Guess that's that. We're back to square one.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Monsieur Neuvillette, have you ever heard of people who are dissolving into water, which is a new thing that you only just found out about now, turning into oceans instead?
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret?
There you go. Now she's getting angry at the right person. Someone who's part of the system that makes this champion duelist a thing.
No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear. If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by all?
Is this the new opening eyes animation? Are we going to see characters for like the next 3 years all break out into tears like this just so they can get a use out of their animation?
Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to.
The thing on your hat, is defying gravity. It should be swinging perfectly straight because gravity's a thing, but it's hanging on an angle. A+ animations there. A+. Now, I was giving her approval for actually speaking to Neuvillette about her father because he's part of the system. But at the same time, I also feel like she's going too far. She's really just venting her grief at her father's death, more so than actually having a problem with the system. I think she's going too far with this.
If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone.
That's their right? Who are you to tell them to be otherwise?
It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything.
See my previous point? That's his right to human the way he wants to human, or whatever race he is.
Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice.
Can I point out that's actually a credit to his profession? You want a Chief Justice that's apathetic and not putting their own bias in emotional cases?
My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur
You should
Chief
be sorry.
Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Emotion's not going to change anything. You should approach this with logic and reason. Only then will you get somewhere. Well, that got us nowhere, except an emotional outburst. Yippee.